Welcome to 10 Reasons Your Group Classes Are Not Growing. This is actually a really fun topic for me if you can't see how excited I am, because I have a lot of fitness instructors, and they always have the questions of how to grow their classes, and that they want to get more students and things like that. And so I think what people do not realize is that there's things that's actually stopping you from your classes growing, that's actually decreasing your class. And of course, if you're saying, well, no, I'm not losing people, I'm just not gaining people. Well, that if you're not gaining people, you can only stay leveled for a while before it starts to decrease. So if you're not increasing, you're automatically decreasing, because you're not advancing as far as like your classes and development. There's some people that teach classes, you teach classes in a gym, or you teach classes independently. Either way, it's great for your brand to be able to grow your classes. So what we're going to go over today is 10 reasons why your classes are not growing. I hope you guys do have a pen, a paper. I already have my notes right here with everything. So I hope that you guys have your notes also. So we're going to jump right into it. The first one that I want to go over is you do not get to know people. And I know you might be wondering, what does getting to know people really have to do with growing my class? And let me actually tell you, it has everything to do with your class and growing. For my classes, when I was teaching at like 10 classes a week, I knew everyone by first name, knew what they did for work. I talked to them about anything that was coming up, if they had any special events, if they went to a party, if they went to a wedding, if somebody, their son, daughter graduated from high school or college. Because when they come in the class, what is more powerful? You walking into class and someone saying, "Oh, hey, how are you? Thanks for coming to class." Or someone actually, when you walk in, addressing you by name. "Hey, Mia, how have you been? How was the party that you went to? How was so and so's graduation? I know that they just graduated. Congratulations." Now, what you're doing is you're developing a bond with them, because let's be real, it makes you feel better when people actually remember your name, ask you about something that's going on, remember something that's going on with you. We have a lot of things that are going on in our lives, and it's extremely easy to forget what's happening with us, let alone something that's happening with someone else. So, what I would suggest is taking notes. If you're teaching a new class and you get in new people, ask them what their first name is. You don't have to necessarily say, "Hey, what's your first name? And what do you do for work? And do you have any events that are coming up?" You don't have to do it like that. But at least asking them their first name and kind of getting to know them just in general conversation by saying, "Hi, my name is Mia. I'm teaching this class. What brings you into class?" They explain to you, "Oh, I'm doing this. I hurt my knee. I need to do this. Doctor told me this. I want to do this class because it seems fun." And then you just kind of go from there as general conversation, and you'll learn things about them. What's great is that soon as you talk to them, if it's in the beginning or at the end of class, more than likely it'll probably be at the end of class, immediately go to your phone and just note their name and just a little bit of information about them so that you don't forget. Because if you try to remember everything, not going to work that well. I don't know about you, but 75% of the things I try to remember without writing them down doesn't work very well for me. But how that does help grow your class is because now you're memorable to them. They feel important. They come to the class, they enjoy the class, and they are more likely to let other people know as well, because they're having a great experience in the class as well also. But you are a part of that experience. So coming in, getting a good workout, but also having a very personable instructor as well. So I promise, getting to know them will make it a lot easier for you to be able to connect with them going forward when you have events that are going on, when you want them to invite other people that are coming to the class, to come to the class, things like that. It just makes it a lot easier versus you not knowing any of your students and asking them, "Hey, why don't you bring people to the class? Hey, why don't you come to my event? Hey, why don't you do these things for me, even though I don't really know who you are? I just know you show up sometimes." Put a little bit of extra effort into it if you want to prevent your class from decreasing. Number two, You do not substitute. And what I mean by that is that you do not sub other classes. So you have classes that you teach every week. If you are not actively looking, there's always someone who needs a substitute for their class. And even if you don't teach the exact same format that they teach, if it's in kind of the same area, you could still teach the class at that time slot. I've taught classes at time slots that weren't very similar to the class. If it's a group, it's a group fitness class, more than likely it's going to work. I've taught dance fitness classes during yoga slots. I've taught more of a circuit type of class during dance fitness slots. It's a great way to, of course, if you can teach class for class, that's great. If you're teaching the exact same class that the other instructor is, then of course you can do that. But it's great to also introduce them to another format so that they can now be aware that the class is happening, and they came in and they were able to experience that. So if you're not substituting, you're only depending on the classes that you teach. But there's gyms that you can be on their sub list to be able to teach there. If you are a group instructor, I'm sure you have group instructor friends. You can let them know that you are available to substitute as well. And so right there are two great starts: substituting in your own space when people cannot teach classes, letting your friends know who teach classes, and then contacting other gyms and studios and letting them know that you want to be on their sub list as well. Number 3, you do not ask your class to invite other people. You hope that your class and the students are letting other people know about your class, but you can't depend on them just doing it. You definitely have to kind of push it. So it's like you kind of want something done, but you're just assuming that it's going to happen. Like you want the person you're with to do the dishes, but you don't want to necessarily tell them to do them, but you want them to figure out to do the dishes on their own. Yeah, doesn't make any sense at all, right? It doesn't. So if you are teaching a class and you're actually teaching at a gym, you might need to ask for permission as far as have a friends and family day so that you can tell your class, hey, invite friends, invite family. It's going to be free if they come because they're coming with you. Make them feel special. They're free because they're coming with you. And I value you, so you can bring them. They'll bring people, maybe not all of them, and that's fine because not everybody's going to do it. But you're getting a few additional people that, again, are getting exposed to your class. And then they might decide to join the class, to join the gym so that they can take your class, things like that. But you need to spread the word of your class. You can't just go off of thinking, well, my students know that this is a really good class, and because this is such a great class, they're going to tell everyone. They're going to tell a few people, but don't depend on that. Let them know to invite other people. If you have like little passes, you can give that to them as well. If you want to let them know like about the friends and family day with like a date, things like that, so that they can remember. But at least give them, I'd say 2 weeks out. You don't want to do it too far where it's a few months out and you're like friends and family day, and then all of a sudden it shows up and they don't remember. I think 2 weeks out is a great time because it's not like a huge event. I mean, even if it was the next week, you could do it, but I would at least do 2 weeks to give them time to have the information, let other people know. People put things in their schedule, and you can have people come out. If they have any questions, you can answer questions after the class. It's just a really, really, really great thing to do. So if you're not doing it now, you need to start doing it today. So number 4, you are not a part of events. Major, major, major thing that will, if you are not a part of events, I don't know how long you will last teaching. And so this goes a lot as far as like dance fitness, a lot of events that happen where what happens is that an instructor has an event, they invite instructors, they teach. Even if you have a different type of format, where if it's something where it's not really dance fitness, if it's kind of like a group class like yoga, or maybe it's more of a weights type of thing, that what you can do is kind of have your own type of like event where there's different formats of different classes that they are able to experience. So instead of it being all of a dance fitness, all of a dance fitness format, it can be more of a format where it's all, and they don't have to be all the same thing. It can be yoga, and then you can have a yoga class, a yoga instructor, and then a circuit type of class, and then a dance fitness class, things like that. But you definitely need to be a part of events. And the reason why is, again, because of exposure. When you go to events and you are a part of them, and there's other instructors that are teaching, they bring their following, and you bring your following, and those people invite other people. And what happens is that you have all these people that are in the same area that are interested in fitness, obviously have some type of interest in classes, or were able to be convinced to go to the actual event so that you can be a part of it. You're building your brand because people, your personal brand, because people now are getting more familiar with you. So they're seeing you more, they're getting exposed to your classes. You can start recording things like this. It goes, you can post this on different social media platforms. I'll go into that a little bit later. But it's really great to be able to connect with the most people at one time. So if you're not doing events, if you're not a part of events, again, that's something else that you need to be a part of right now. If you check online, you check on Facebook, there's always events that are happening that you can ask to be a part of. If you do not see any events that may fit exactly what you're looking for, you can create your own. I would definitely still get very familiar with getting a venue, connecting with people, promotions, things like that about actually having the event. But there's tons of events. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be an event that you would be able to be a part of that would fit what you're doing. You can definitely do that, host your own, be a part of other events as well. And they happen year round. So it's not like a time where you're like, okay, there's no events that I can really be a part of. There's always events happening. You can always, like I said, create your own events, get at least four other amazing instructors and put an amazing event together. Number 5, which is kind of something that I was talking about a little bit already, is of course utilizing social media. And we all know that social media is extremely powerful. I don't have to say that. I'm not going to start with that to tell you, hey, social media is great for business, it's great for this, because it is. But what you do need to start doing is utilizing things like groups. So if you don't have like a group yet for your class, I would start that, because again, that's a great place to kind of still stay connected with your students when you're not in class, and they still get information. You can still post a little bit videos, things like that, saying what's about to come up. If they have any suggestions as far as like music or something they want to go over or things like that, you can do that. And then of course now they have the opportunity where they can now add people to the group as well, because that's an option as well. If you have it on your group where they can invite others to the group, now you have other people that now know your class schedule, what's going on, what you're going over, and you're also having the opportunity to get feedback from the students, the people that you're teaching, to better your class. So doing a group on Facebook is absolutely free. You can start that. It takes you literally a couple minutes to put together, do the group, name it, whatever you want. If you teach different formats, you might not want to name it necessarily one thing. As far as like Mia's dance fitness class, if you teach multiple different formats, you might just want to do just you kind of as a whole. And then you can have, as far as like your cover page, your schedule of what you teach and where you teach it at, which would be super great for promotions. Number 6, and I think this is something that a lot of people do not do as much as they should, because they're kind of intimidated, thinking that it's actually going to hurt their class, and it's not. And that's cross promotions. And so if you're teaching a class and you're in the same space and there's a class that happens, your class is at 6 p.m. on Monday and there's a class 6 p.m. on Wednesday, and that's, again, you teach this and they teach that, it really doesn't make a difference. I always would promote other people's classes and say, hey, have you tried this person's class? It's around the same time as this. It's on Wednesdays. It's a really great class. I know you love this with the dance fitness type of format. They do this and they also include this. It's really great. You should check it out, because guess what? There's some people that, again, may not want to try certain classes because they're not familiar with it, but they just need kind of a little bit of a nudge. So when you're nudging someone a little bit, they're like, okay, you know what? Let me try that class. And so if you find another instructor to do that with, you both can then cross promote in each other's classes to get more people as well. Because the thing is that just because they go to Wednesday night class doesn't mean they're going to stop coming to Monday night class. And if they do stop coming to Monday night class, I mean, that's something that they can do at any point anyway. Someone can invite them to a class at another gym and they might want to do that, or they might try another class on their own. So you cross promoting and helping someone else and them helping you isn't taking away from you at all. It's actually just helping because you're both promoting classes, you're getting people in, and they're going to help and build as well. So super great. Definitely should start cross promoting. If you can do it with more than one class, even better, but at least finding one instructor that's kind of similar in that area as far as, like I said, if your people are at 6 p.m. on Monday, 6 p.m. on Tuesday class, 6 p.m. on Wednesday class, 6 p.m. on Thursday class, 6:30, 5:30, 7 o'clock, anywhere in that range, let them know and make sure you cross promote with those people. Number 7, writing blogs and becoming an expert. If you do not write blogs, then how are you truly expanding into every aspect of promoting that you can? You're not. So as you know, when you teach classes, especially group classes, of course, most classes are groups, but when you're teaching classes, your students look to you as the professional. So they're looking to you as an expert already. So they're already asking, what should I be doing? How should this be? What sneakers should I be wearing? Should I do this? Should I do that? And of course, depending on your certifications and your scope of your reach and what you can give them as far as like advice and things like that, I would absolutely do it. Not only would I do that, is I would take the questions that the people that are asking questions and start writing about them. You can blog on social media, you can blog on your website. There's blog sites that you can blog at, but that's great because when they start asking you questions about certain things, you can then say, that's a great question, give them the answer to it and say, I answer a lot of questions like that on my blog. Let me give you the information about that. Now, other people are able to find you who are not in your classes. The people in your classes are able to get a lot more useful information out of you. And it's just a win-win altogether. So if you're not blogging, I definitely would definitely just pick topics, and I mean specific topics, not really broad, that you could talk about. If somebody asked you questions about, again, what type of sneakers they should be wearing for dance fitness, you could definitely write a blog about top sneakers, or for top footwear for fitness, for group fitness or for dance fitness, because you want to make sure it's specific. You're not going to wear the same footwear for each class. So best footwear for Zumba, best footwear for this class. And so you can always find different topics that you can talk about that specifically discuss exactly what, like I said, someone might have asked. And so you're not really being too broad where you're answering too many questions. Number 8, you don't do videos of yourself. And we, as group instructors, we do videos. I don't think we post as much as we could. I see a lot of instructors that will have like little clips of what they do, which is great. I'm not saying put whole routines on there, because guess what? If you have someone that's paying to be in that class and they're getting all of this, you don't want to give all that information and put it online for free. That's not fair to you or the students that are paying for it. So I wouldn't do that, but I absolutely would put lots of clips on there. I would definitely put on there if there's something specific that you're working on. If you're working on certain like hip isolations or things like that, kind of little small things to kind of give them like teasers, to give them information to get people interested in your class. Because the thing is with social media, videos are the top number one thing that people are interested in. So what's great about us is that we're always doing something to show. So it's not like we have to go out of our way to figure out, okay, we need something for video, we need something to post. We already have it. We teach classes, we practice by ourselves, we put choreo together. So you always have tons of things. You might as well just walk around with a camera that's always on so that you can just pick that information and post it online, because we already have such great stuff that you don't have to go out of your way to figure out what to do. But like I said, as far as putting full blown multiple choreo, I wouldn't do that, but definitely something like a little snippet, or like a teaser to kind of get people to say, what is that? Who is that? I want to teach that class. People will share it. People, you see them tagging their friends and they're like, what's this? Let's try this together. Let's do this together. Where does this person teach at? Things like that. That's the best way that you can post something about your class, about what you're doing, and it catches fire. I am very adamant about that. I would have put that as number one, but I wanted to get to some other things as well. But that's absolutely one of the top things, if you were not doing, that you should start doing now, is posting your videos on your social media. Number 9, your class isn't the talk. So, and what I mean by that is that you teach a class, and again, you know that each class needs to have 125% of your energy, no matter what the student's doing, no matter what else is going on, no matter who walks in your room, you need to be giving 125% at all times. And so if you can do all of these things, but if you don't have a very valuable, different class, then it's not something that people are excited about. It's not something that people are going to want to invite their friends to. It's not something that people are going to want to watch. So you have to make sure that when you walk into that class, and what I like to say is, I like to call group fitness, and again, especially dance, that we have character kind of jobs, which is really fun, because when you walk in, no matter how your day was, if it was bad, if this happened, if you got a ticket, no matter what happened, when you walk into that classroom, none of that matters. Everything changes, and you're there to provide an experience for all of the students that took that hour out of their day to come to your class. So when you walk in, you have to be on your game. And what I mean by that is that you don't have to do something that you're not comfortable with, or be someone that you're not. What I mean by character, but I mean that you need to be the best you when you walk into that room. So there's certain things that we always are looking into education. So we're always looking to learn more. We're always looking to add more. We might use certain props. We might use certain weights. There's certain things that we're doing. I had one of the best classes that I had was a circuit training class. They loved it. And that's because every week what I would do is bring in different things for us to use. So I would bring in tires in the classroom for us to work on. I would bring in kettlebells. I brought in all these different things. I brought in bands. It's just every week I'd bring in something different. I even brought in one time like a bar. I brought in like all these different things every week, so that I would have them perform different exercises that they wouldn't normally do on those type of things. And so every week they were looking forward to, okay, there's certain similar things that we might be doing, but there's always going to be one aspect of it. There's always going to be one thing that's different. And I want to know what we're going to be doing this week. And we had a theme where, of course, we'd have a concentration where it's like, today we're working upper body. It's going to be lower body. And now I just brought this in, and we're going to go over doing that. That was the best class I've ever had. I had so many people tell other people about that class, come in. It was amazing, because they were excited and they were looking forward to something new every single class. So if your class isn't something to talk about, then everything that we've just gone over isn't going to help as much if you don't give it a little bit extra. So number 10, this is for if you are working at a gym. Maybe a little bit harder if you're working at a studio, because more than likely there's not really like a front desk or other things that are going on. They're specifically coming there for your class. But if you do teach at a gym, definitely talking to your front desk, asking that right before your class, they let other people know that the class is going on, that you can put up flyers at the front desk, that you can put up flyers maybe in the bathroom or wherever it's okay around the gym, but definitely connecting with the front desk, because those are the people that they see when they come in, and they can say, hey, Mia's class is at 6 p.m. today. Like I said, they're coming in, it's 5:50. Just to let you know, blah, 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 class is happening, 6 p.m., Studio A. They're like, oh, okay, I know. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to take the class, but at least now they know that the class is happening. And that also goes kind of with a bonus. which I already have a bonus, but also this is a second bonus. So also, what you can do is outside of your class, right before your class starts. Most gyms, they'll announce it that your class is happening. If you talk to the front desk, they will they'll tell the people that the class is happening. But what you can do as well is right before your class, go out and talk to people yourself, because if no one has talked to them at the front desk, they might not hear the announcement because so many things are going on. You don't have to walk up and solicit people who have their headphones on and they're bench pressing, and you're like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that my class is going on." You definitely don't have to do that. But you could definitely just walk up to people who are just maybe walking around or things like that. They're not full blown hardcore into their workout, and just say, "Hey, I don't know if you knew, but I have this class that's going on at 6 o'clock. If you'd like, I don't know if anyone told you, if you'd like to join, you could definitely stop by and come in." Or, if you don't come in today, usually with classes, you can see in them, so you can at least see what's going on. They say, "Oh, okay, thank you." They may or may not come to the class, but at least you connected with them, which nobody else might have done that before. So now they know that the class is happening, and then they might join it sometime in the future. So now for the second bonus. Second bonus is just like you're connecting with people inside the gym and talking to them about your class, you also need to connect with people outside the gym. So when you're talking to people and somehow fitness comes up and you're like, "Oh, I teach this class. It's a lot of fun. I have this card." Remember the card that we were talking about that you give for friends and family? "Oh, I have this card that's for that can come in for free." You give this to them. Now they have something physical in their hand, and they're like, "Oh, okay." I think a really cool idea is they have, what are they? Business cards. Wow. The business cards, and when you flip them over, it's like a coupon on it. So you can do that and give that to them. And even if you don't have it, you can create your own and say, "Hey, you can come to this class." Or even if you had it where your business card has maybe like the locations of your classes and the times, and then on the back it has a coupon for them to come to one of the classes. It's a little bit, I would say, if you do that and you do get business cards, don't get too many, because if your classes change, if the times change, if the location changes, now you're going to have all these business cards with outdated information on it. So if you want to just create your own, that's great as well, so that you can always change and update them when you want, but give that to them. You don't have to necessarily be really salesy, but just when you're talking to people in general, you find out things about people, what they like to do, where they work, things that they enjoy, and then you can present things to them like that, where you're like, "Hey, I know we were just talking about fitness and I teach classes. So anytime you want to stop by, this one's on me." And then people, you will get people from that. I've had a few people join my classes from just connecting with them outside, uh, even at like grocery stores or just the most random places, to just talk to them. And I know you might think, "Oh, no, nobody's going to want to talk to me about my class, or they're not going to want me to sell to them," but you're not. You're not. You're just building a rapport with them. You're helping them because you're giving them something for free. So they might go to it, they might let somebody else know about it, but it definitely, definitely works. So if you are not utilizing these things, then don't be surprised as far as your classes. If you have 18 or 15 people now, and then you notice that 6 months from now you have 17, or especially when the summer hits and then there's only 5 people that come to your class, things like that. If you're not increasing, then you're decreasing. So definitely hope that you guys wrote this information down, got something useful out of it. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys later.